All right, guys, I'm going to continue to hammer this home. We get signed over to the state as property through the birth certificate process. Your parents signed you over as informants to the state as property, and you did it with your own kids, and now the state owns your children. The state has owned you since you were a child. All right, here we go. This is how the birth certificate process works. Your parents sign you over as informants to the state. They're literally signing title to you over to the state. This goes all the way back to foundlings and foundling hospitals. This is why this still happens in the hospitals, okay? Your parents sign you over to the state, the title to you. You are now cargo. You are cargo in a vessel as a corporate fiction, okay? You are registered at the registrar's office. What gets registered at the registrar's office? Property. The Department of Human Resources takes care of this. You are literally a human resources. We all are, that have birth certificates and social security numbers. These are social security accounts that are trust accounts, okay? The SESTA-QV trust accounts. So your parents sign you over as informants to the state. The state actually belongs to somebody too. Who does the state belong to? All the states belong to the corporation of the United States. The United States is not a country. It is a corporation. This is all commerce. Everything we see, all of our day-to-day, everything you think you know about the world is only one aspect of how everything works, and that is commerce, because we're all corporations, etc. Your property belongs to the state. The state belongs to the United States, is a corporation. The corporation of the United States belongs to D.C., which is a foreign territory. So if you're a U.S. citizen that's registered with a birth certificate, you're a U.S. citizen, you belong to the corporation of the United States. It just is how it is. I'm sorry. You have to understand this. This isn't something to dwell on and be all frustrated and cry and pout about all the time, but it's so important to understand when it comes to letting go, freeing yourself, understanding how the system works, and having a line in the sand drawn. If you don't know this and know how this works, you don't know where to draw your line in the sand and to actually maybe begin resisting. And so we incrementally get tricked into losing all of our freedoms as cargo and commerce and all this and that. So if you belong to the United States as a U.S. citizen, you're property of that corporation. That corporation is a subsidiary corporation of D.C., which is a foreign territory. And that foreign territory, D.C., is also a subsidiary corporation of what? We'll call it the Crown Inc. We're not going to get into semantics of the United States Corporation, the Dun & Bradstreet numbers and all that. Just know, U.S. citizens belong to the United States Corporation, which belongs to D.C., which is a foreign territory, which belongs to the Crown, all the way back to the Vatican. This land out here, everything you see, is the Crown's land. Every 6 square miles, we still have Crown markers. The Crown markers are still here. All of our states and our districts and all this, it's just a mapping federal overlay. It's a federal overlay. They just drew the 50 states over top of the Crown markers, the Crown map, which is every 6 square miles, and now we have it every 1 square mile. It's just a made-up corporate federal overlay. It's not the truth. The truth is that this is the Crown land still, and you belong to the Crown. And you don't know that as property, as chattel, because you are registered as property at the registrar's office. You think you're an American. You are not an American. You're a U.S. citizen. And you sign that and you contracted into that over and over and over again. You don't have unalienable rights. You don't have them. This corporation has been around for a long time. You don't own property. Property, which is what you are, can't own property. You don't have unalienable rights that are God-given unless you know your status, standing, and jurisdiction. You know how and why and when to stand up for yourself. But you're always going to contract into their system. You don't even know how the courts work. All of our courts work different than you think. These are all just banking and administrative courts. And it has to do with your straw man and your trust and all that. Social security account. You don't understand all that. But what's most important is to understand the basics that I'm telling you right now. If you understand the basics of what I'm telling you right now, and you learn how bad it really is, you can begin to just accept that system for what it is, as itself, and then separate yourself, your mind, body, and spirit from it. And that's how you free yourself. Even though there's going to be all types of force, and your friends and family are the police officers and the code enforcers and all that. Everybody, the government isn't coming after us. It's all of our friends and family and all of their careers and their good little citizens that are the Gestapo. That's who's coming after us. It's us. We are coming after us. We are putting ourselves in the system and building it stronger and stronger and stronger. Okay? We're the ones that are getting rid of our freedoms. Nobody else. It's just us. The problem is we don't understand what I'm talking about right now. And why don't we understand this? Because it's not taught to us intentionally. They don't want you to know that this is how it works, because there would have been a revolution a long time ago if people knew this, or if people knew that we are actually those bonds, these U.S. Treasury bonds backed by us, our physical body. We can be held as surety for these bonds that they put in the court systems. The full faith and credit of the U.S. is all about us as debt slaves to our currency. We are the leverage for the currency. They print money out of thin air. They sort of do that, but it's mainly printed and made. The money that's in circulation mainly comes from us, the full faith and credit of the U.S. of your bonds that are attached to you and your straw man, your social security account, your SSQV trust. You don't know that. I have great videos on that, but that's a little more advanced. What you need to know is you're not an American. This isn't the United States of America. This is the United States. It's a corporation. This is a federal overlay, a commercial circuit that you're in and you contract into. Everything you do, from driving to your home to every single thing, your licenses, your driver's licenses, your CDLs, whatever it is, whatever license you have, whatever permit you get, you're asking permission because you are subject to them. You're not free. This is not a free system. You're not an American. You don't have unalienable rights. You have corporate bylaws and benefits and privileges that are given to you by man. Corporate bylaws, they're not rights. They're not law. They're corporate bylaws. They're benefits and privileges that are given to you by man, by government. That in which one creates, one controls. That's a maxim of law. So that in which one creates, one controls. Man-made government, therefore man can control it. Anything government gives to you, they can take away. So don't think that anything is a right, because it's not. Your governor or your CEO of your state, he's just the CEO of that corporation. The CEO of that corporation decides your benefits and privileges. And that's how this really works. But he also has a handler, or she. They have their handlers too. It's a deep system. It's a dark system. But once you understand it, you can go, okay, that system is not who I am, is not what I belong to. You may still have to play along, to keep food on the table and to stay under the radar. But until we figure out how to exit the matrix and the system properly via trust and all that stuff, to me, it's too hard. I'd rather have nothing. Less is more. It's easy to be free for me. I've gone full circle and figured out a lot of ways to stay out of the circuit. But I'm 1 foot in, 1 foot out because I have to live. I have to feed myself. I haven't completely jumped off grid or whatnot yet. So that's my spiel for the day. It's a big one. It's an important one. If you ever want me to sit down with you and your family and really explain it, put it on a whiteboard, I can do that. I will help you guys understand if it's important to you. It's probably not though. But yep, that's my spiel for the day. Your property. Peace.